With bellies full of bread and cups of tea, Martin and his friends, they set out that fateful day to purchase for the hive of fine queen bee, bee, bee. To purchase for the hive of fine queen bee.
After chatting with Eugene Lambe in his Kinvara shop for almost 2 hours, I came to know him as a direct-spoken, honest Irishman with a love for storytelling. So, when we came to the 10 questions portion of our 64 and More interview, it was not surprising that his answers were direct and honest and often involved a story. Who is most important to you?
At the moment, my daughter Roisin.
How do you spell that name?
R-O with an accent over the O.
Okay, yeah.
I-S with an accent over the next I-N.
Is there an American translation to that?
Small Rose.
That's a beautiful name. What is most valuable to you?
I suppose my health.
What makes you happiest? No matter when you do it or how or where or when, it just makes you happy.
Swim.
Swimming?
Swimming in the sea, yeah. I do a lot of swimming underwater, so I like swimming underwater.
I'm shocked that it's not music.
No, I like swimming. It really gets, it's like what I was talking about, it gets rid of everything else and just in the watery environment.
What is your biggest life fear, and how have you or do you overcome it?
I don't think I have any fears, really.
Ever?
Well, I had cancer last year, but was I afraid? No, I was sort of just knew that it was there, and I did get better or worse.
Are you in remission? Or?
Well, I had this melanoma and I had 2 operations, and so far it hasn't come back.
Did it make you change the way you think about life or how you act?
Not really, because even before that, I just try and make the most of every day anyway.
Is it important to you to spend time with other people, or do you need alone time?
I love it. I really need alone time. I die without it, nearly. I die spiritually without it. But I do like being with other people.
So spiritually, you do have a spiritual side, it just doesn't involve...
Spirituality, I mean, when I feel good inside myself, I'm spiritual. Nothing to do with gods or higher powers or anything. But I feel when I'm swimming in the sea or when I'm on a boat and I'm fishing, I feel very spiritual, connected.
To what? Connected to what?
Just peace.
How do you define quality of life?
I suppose the same thing as what I'm talking about there, being in a spiritually quiet place, feeling okay and calm.
Do you consider what society terms as important in your life, or do you march to your own drummer?
Oh, I very much march to my own drummer. I've always had that, really. I never really wanted to belong to the great mass media thing.
What is your lifetime dream?
I just, all through my life, I've just followed whatever I felt like doing, and I've done it, so I don't really have a dream. I can go to Amsterdam now, and there's nothing in the city that I want. But I can walk down the beach here and be happy.
So have you achieved the dream that fulfills your life in doing what you're doing?
I heard a story once about a fellow who wouldn't go to Mass, and the priest went up to see him. This fellow lived up on the side of a mountain. And he said to the man, he said, "Why aren't you coming to Mass?" He said, "I don't like going to Mass," he said, anymore. And as the priest was looking at him, and he's living in this little wooded place, and he's got a little cabin, and the birds are there eating out of his hand, and the priest suddenly realised that he's made a mistake by telling this man he should go to Mass, because he was living in a spiritual condition all the time. So he said the man was doing the right thing,
right,
by not going. So I like to see myself a bit like that every day. There was an old man called the Taylor who wrote a book, Nature Nasty. He said, before your time, before washing powders, there was a thing called a blue bag. You ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
It was a little bit of cotton with a bit of blue stuff in it, and you put it in with washing clothes, make them white. And Taylor said, life is like a blue bag. You have to give it a squeeze every time you can. Well, I never forgot that.
So what does that mean, to give it a squeeze?
It means that every time you get a chance in life, having something make your life a little bit lighter or funnier, you take it, you do it. So if you keep doing that, you don't have any dreams. You don't need dreams, because every moment is a dream.
But reality for most people is the 9-to-5 grind to make sure they've got the money to pay the bills and put food on the table for the family and so on and so forth. That's not their dream.
I don't owe any money to anybody, and if I need money, I'll make something and sell it. So I know I have to do that sometimes, pay insurance on the car, or whatever, I need to put petrol in the car or a motorbike or something. But I mean, when that's done then, I don't work anymore. I'd never done that. I never worked for work's sake. That's why I left the academic life.
So you just don't come out and tinker in the shop and make pipes because it's fun? You only make them if you have a client?
No, I make them for fun. I make other things for fun. I do little projects of my own for fun. But that's part of my dream, to have the free. I suppose the real wealth for me is free time.
So your lifetime dream was to have the time to do what you wanted.
Just time to do what I want to, spend time with people I want and do what I want.
So where did you figure that out, that was what fulfilled you? How did you, just by doing it?
Just by doing it, yeah.
You didn't have a role model, there was no advice from your parents, there was nothing like that?
No, actually I got nothing. I got very little support really. People were wagging fingers at me saying, you must be crazy to believe in that job. You'll never make a living. You're not a businessman. Like all that sort of stuff, which would fuel into my own insecurities and say maybe they're right, you know, but lucky enough I just kept doing it anyway and became a businessman of sorts and run a business and employed people and made a living, travelled a lot of the world.
What does music mean to you?
It's a pleasurable way to spend a while.